Today is the very first anniversary of History of the Emblem. Now before we start the video, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has ever watched, subscribed, or even just looked at my channel. Compared to other FE tubers, 800 subs may not seem like a lot, but to me, 800 people is still a lot of people. Again, thank you to everyone for making this first year of History of the Emblem an experience that I will never forget. That being said, let's move on to your questions, shall we? I was originally planning another anniversary video, but I got way more questions than I expected from you all on both Twitter and YouTube, so here we go. Question number 1. Do you have or plan to get an Inigo body pillow? That was a great first question. No, but to seriously answer that question, I don't have one, and I don't know if I'll ever get one in the future because I have both money and the approval of my parents to think about. What's your least favorite Fire Emblem character? I'll give you a hint. She looks like she just rolled out a Hot Topic and her name rhymes with berry.
Not me!
What are your biggest hopes for Fire Emblem Three Houses that haven't been confirmed as of yet? The weapon triangle has not been confirmed as coming back, so I really want that to be back because that's pretty much like a series staple. I also want them to get rid of the child mechanic for reasons that a lot of people can explain much better than me. Also, I want the ability to date Claude Von Regan if nobody else. Which Fire Emblem games have you played? I've touched every single oh my god, that sounds terrible. I've played every single Fire Emblem game, but I haven't finished Radiant Dawn, the original Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light, the original Gaiden, and I think that's all for the ones I haven't finished, but I've pretty much at least played all of them. Which Fire Emblem game was your first? Well, that really depends on what you really define as first, because my real first Fire Emblem game was Fire Emblem The Sacred Stones, which I got through the Nintendo 3DS Ambassador program back in 2011, where they rewarded you for basically buying the 3DS on launch day. So I played that for about 2 chapters, and then I kind of forgot about it. Then Awakening came out, and I was like, I love this series! And then I played that, and I fell in love with Fire Emblem. Then I went back to Sacred Stones, and I ended up loving that more than Awakening, so both of them really are my first Fire Emblem game. Remake any Fire Emblem game, which one would it be? It would definitely be the Sacred Stones, not only because it's my favorite Fire Emblem game, but because I really want to hear our Lord and Savior Greg Chun ham it up as Ephraim saying his cheesy lines like, I don't pick fights I can't win, and him going into a castle and destroying the entire thing with only him and 3 men. I really want to hear that fully voice acted. Please answer my calls, intelligent systems. Favorite Fire Emblem character? Inigo and all variations thereupon. Most wanted unit to come to Heroes? More variants of Inigo. Just kidding, it's Walt. What's your favorite legendary weapon? I really like Sigmund because it's pretty, but really I like all of the Fates legendary weapons to be honest, so it's kind of a 4-way toss-up between Sigmund, Siegfried, the Divine Chainsaw Yato, I forget what it's called, and Fujin Yumi. What's your best unit in Heroes if you play Heroes? I do play Heroes, and my best unit is my 5-star Laszlo that I've built up over the past year that the game has been around. Mangs or Mecha? I don't know how to answer this because I like both of them, but I'm gonna go with what my friend said. Like yin and yang, neither Mangs nor Mecha can ever truly feel complete without one another, and therefore it is only their joint work where they are both able to shine. What do you use to edit? Also, what are some future ideas for videos and series? I use Final Cut Pro X to edit, and I have a MacBook Air. Also, future ideas for the series. Eventually we will run out of games and legendary weapons, but we won't run out of content to talk about. Currently I'm planning a series called Mirror Emblem Light and Shadow. If you follow me on Twitter, you know what that's about. Stay tuned. Favorite Fire Emblem YouTubers? I would say probably my favorite FE YouTuber of all time is Ghast Station. I am completely in love with his support science series. I love it, and it's everything I aspire to be. What do you think of the current information of Fodlan? It needs more Claude Von Regan in it. What Fire Emblem game mechanic did you enjoy using and which drove you up a wall? I love Dragon Veins. I really hate Fog of War. Please kill me. What made Fire Emblem stand out from all the other ideas you could have chosen? And also you asked another question, which was, has Fire Emblem had any meaningful or life-altering effect on you, and how has it affected you? I mentioned before that it took me a little while to officially fall in love with Fire Emblem, but when I fell for it, I fell for it hard. Nothing has ever jumped out to me more than discovering and loving Fire Emblem has, and I think it's probably going to be one of my most loved series of all time, forever and ever, because I really, really do like this good old game of Japanese chess. Who is your favorite lord? My favorite lord is Ephraim. What is your favorite game from the Kaga era and why? Genealogy of the Holy War, because it's freaking Genealogy of the Holy War. Do you think that the GBA games were a step backwards for the series? I really don't think that. I think that it kind of had to find its footing when Binding Blade came out because it was new, they lost Kaga and all that stuff, but once it found its footing, God was the GBA era of Fire Emblem really good. Okay, so do you play Pokemon, and if so, who is your favorite? I do play Pokemon, and my favorite Pokemon, there are too many of them, so I'm gonna choose my top 3. I really like Lucario, my boy Swampert, and Camerupt. What's your favorite brand of pencil? You have just made me realize that I have never really looked closely at a pencil in my life. Favorite Fire Emblem character-wise and gameplay-wise. I've already said Inigo is my favorite character-wise, but gameplay-wise, that goes to Seth because he is the terror of Magville. Do you think Fire Emblem 4 will be the next game to get a remake or Fire Emblem 6? Personally, I really want it to be Fire Emblem 4, but because of what the director said, I think it's gonna be Fire Emblem 6, especially because that has our boy Roy in it. Favorite minor villain? You can't ask a Sacred Stones fan that and expect it not to be Valter, because it's Valter. What kind of game series do you like other than Fire Emblem? Also, what class in Fire Emblem would you say is your favorite? I'm a Nintendo nerd. I like Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, Kid Icarus, Metroid, all of those good old Nintendo games. And I do like a lot of different RPG series like Final Fantasy, Persona, and any RPG really. I'm really enjoying Octopath Traveler at the moment. What class in Fire Emblem would I say is my favorite? Probably Gaiden / Shadows of Valentia Archers, because once I saw that they had that much range, I started laughing really hard. Viewer Dude asked a lot of questions, so I'm gonna answer them in rapid fire. Any characters you wish to see added to Heroes that haven't already been added? Yeah, Wolt. Any characters you want to see variants of? Please don't add any more variants unless they are of an ego. Is there any potential for a History of the Emblem of the spin-offs? Yes, I will be making videos about that. Any potential for special guests in upcoming videos? Yes. Favorite ship pairing, romantic or friendly or even enemy? I am a strong shipper of Laszlo and Azura. Would History of the Emblem also dive into the people who created the series and others who are of equal importance? Yes, I have been considering doing a History of the Emblem on Shoujo Kaga. Favorite song now and of all time? Right now it's Real Big Fish's cover of Hungry Like the Wolf. In touch with the ground, I'm on a hunt, I'm after you. And of all time it's Real Big Fish's Average Man. And hear me out, just for tonight. Face reveal, yes or no? Sure, I mean my face isn't really that much of a secret because a couple of weeks ago when I went to Anime Expo, I actually posted a picture of me on Twitter carrying a Dancer Inigo plushie, if that tells you anything about me. So yeah, face reveal. Are you disappointed? Don't worry, so am I. Who are your favorite artists and voice actors for Fire Emblem characters, both in main Fire Emblem Heroes and Cypher? I don't know a whole lot about Cypher, but my favorite artist of all time for Fire Emblem is Sachiko Wada, who did the art for the GBA games, and my favorite Fire Emblem voice actor is Matt Mercer, who is the voice of Chrom, Shigure, Ryoma, and he's just really, really freaking good. Out of all the Fire Emblem games, which one is your favorite? Sacred Stones definitely takes the cake for me because I love literally all of the characters in the game. I can't really think of a character I hate. Not even Leon. He's a good boy. I love him. I love everybody in Sacred Stones. They're all very good. Why is Inigo best husbando? Because his voice is like butter.
Learn some new steps.
If you were in Fire Emblem, what class would you be? I would probably be a True Blade from Radiant Dawn because I have a strange attraction to long coats, and these boys do in fact have long coats. What are some of your favorite Fire Emblem chapters? One that immediately jumped out to me when you asked this question is Conquest Chapter 10. I feel like it was really well designed and you never know how much you suck at Fire Emblem until you play Conquest Chapter 10. Outside of Fire Emblem, do you like history? If so, what is your favorite historical empire? Outside of Fire Emblem, I do like history, and I'd say my favorite historical empire is definitely the Japanese Empire. Now, before you go and call me a weeaboo, I actually do have my reasons. I really enjoy looking at the rise and the fall of the empire, and it's interesting to see how that rise and fall has affected the country today. Why did you create this channel? I created this channel for two reasons really. One, to share information about Fire Emblem with others, and two, to learn information about Fire Emblem for myself. I originally created this series with heroes-only players in mind, so that they would at least find some of their footing in the fan base when all they knew was these characters and these lines that they said. I think my best examples of doing this are the Falchion video and the Yugdral Weapons video. Those are two I'm very proud of, and I think that they represent what I do the best. And as for learning about Fire Emblem myself, some of the stuff I don't know in the videos, like most of the development stories, I don't know that stuff, and I find it interesting, so I create the information to share with others and also to learn for myself. And that wraps up the very first anniversary of History of the Emblem. Again, thank you to everyone. Never did I expect such support, such friendliness, such, I don't know, just greatness from all of you out there. I'm extremely lucky to have all 800 of you along for the ride, and I can't wait to see where we're headed next. Thank you so much for watching History of the Emblem.